see here, folks. This is kind of an interesting thing I'd like to talk about within the fandom. I did like a stream about it yesterday on Instagram, and this is one of the things that I feel is very important, and one of the many things that I have learned about is ADHD, also known as Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. And it has very similar qualities, not exactly the same, but just about as similar as is the same as being on the autism spectrum. But these are some things that I have learned personally as an experienced furry in the community and the fandom of what it's like to have ADHD. I'll read a symptom and I will tell you what it's like to have that type of symptom, as well as finish up with ways that you can combat it. So I'm going to come up with 4 different things that you can definitely do within your own means to become very successful, even if you have ADHD in and out of the fandom. Number 1, unable to sit still, especially in calm or quiet surroundings. Yes, I totally, completely understand that. From personal experience, there are points where I'll be sitting and I will do a lot of talking with my hands, as you can see I'm doing right here. But if I sit too long, it's a type of agitation where if I'm not talking, if I'm not doing something productive, or even if I'm playing on my phone, sometimes it's not good enough. I'll just sit there and I'm not thinking, I'm just like, okay, I'm thinking about stuff out loud, and I'll start tapping my hands. Seem familiar? Yeah. So that's one of the things that's definitely, a good personal experience of what it's like to have ADHD as a furry in and out of the fandom, is that unable to sit still, hold still, all that different stuff. And sometimes people take notice. They're just like, what's wrong with that guy? He just keeps moving. But yeah, number 2. So, is being unable to concentrate on tasks. Holy moly. I am not kidding. I know exactly what that's like. I will be sitting there, I'll be doing like my homework per se, and I'll be going, typing along, doing my thing. Then out of nowhere, there's a song going in my head. Oh, wait, where was I at? What was I just reading? Wait a minute. So it's just like these intrusive thoughts that go into my head, and it kind of takes your mind off of what you're reading, what you're doing. And before you know it, I'm just taking a look around. I'm like, wait a minute, what did I just do? Oh my goodness. So, and that's the other part that makes it really difficult, is being unable to focus and concentrate on tasks, whether it be in school, whether it be at work. Bunch of different things that just goes on when you have inability to concentrate and focus on your certain tasks. Number 3 thing that a person with ADHD can have is acting without thinking, also known as impulsivity. Impulsivity, yes. So sometimes, in verbatim and or actions, I know how it feels. I will grab a pen, I will move something, I will do something and not really think on it. I will just like start going, and let's just say at work or at home, before you know it, I will go around and I will move something, or I will just, even without being told by someone or myself, I'll be like, man, I'll just start doing this just out of nowhere without even really thinking on it. That's another definite symptom of what it's like to have it. It just, I get this thought in my mind that says, oh hey, I need to suddenly do this. I need to suddenly grab this. I need to do this. Before you know it, you're crawling around with like 300 different things, and you just lose your absolute freaking mind. So I know what it's like, folks. It's no fun, and it's no bueno. Number 4 thing that furry with ADHD can have is, let's see, interrupting without thinking in conversations. Holy moly. And I did not help but rap nonstop on that on last night's stream. Interrupting conversations. So, you go into conversation. Let's say there's some furries sitting there, blah, 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 talking about video games or weather or this cute suit or whatever. And you just walk into it, and without even thinking, you just go in and be like, oh yeah, anyway, and just start talking about even something completely off the subject. Before you know it, you're going to get that like, huh? That look. We all know that look. We've seen that look. They just kind of like that. Even if they're in suit, they'll just stop and just look at you and then just kind of move away from you. So it kind of stinks, and it's very depressing and very detrimental to your emotional state. So those are the 4 main things that are definitely key components of having ADHD, what it's like. Now, there are 4 great strategies that I've developed over quite a few years and learned, as well as in schooling, great things to overcompensate and make up for it. So, going back to being unable to sit still, great strategy. Keep something fidgety, something to keep your mind moving, something doing. Like me at work, I'll be doing my paperwork, or I will be doing some texting, or even just simple as like a little fidgeting device. They got those little devices. I mean, I got measuring tape right here, but if you've seen them at the store, it's like that little device that you can pull it out and look at that. Like right now, there's a neat little fidgeting mechanism, and it's really kind of keeping my focus and kind of helps lowers my anxieties, my agitation. So little fixes can really help you with being restless and jittery when you're sitting in place. If you have something that takes your mind and focus off of that situation or what's creating your anxiety and or issues and being unable to hit still, that is one great strategy that works. Number 2, being unable to concentrate on tasks. A great strategy that I developed over many years. This has helped quite well. When I was in school, I had color-coded notebooks. So my yellow notebook was history, coded with my yellow folder. My green notebook was math, with the green folder. And developing kind of like a timely routine, really, that you just stick to from start to finish. Even if you have to write it down, what your daily schedule is, start to finish, and you develop a routine, you do the same thing over and over. It seems tedious, but you'll be surprised how well and how successful you can be at accomplishing your task by sticking to those things. Like, okay, my exact day. I get up, I eat, I go shower, I brush my teeth, I go eat breakfast, I get in the car, or pack my lunch, I go to work. I go to work from my schedule, 9 a.m. till about 11 a.m. I'm seeing patients. From 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. I'm doing notes and documentation. 12 to 1 is my lunch hour. 1 to about 4, I'm seeing patients or doing some sort of productive activity or implementation of a project or something I'm working on at work. Then 4 to 5, I'm finishing up, doing my notes. I get home. I drive home. Sometimes, if I remember, write it down. It's where it comes in handy. You can stop, get groceries, whatever you need. Write things down. It's very important. They can help you. And then I get home, exercise, do my homework for about an hour. About that 1 hour, about your ballpark best to keep focus and attention. Even on the more boring stuff, you'll lose it quickly. And then watch a little TV, boom, go to bed. Routine. Have a routine, folks. The number 3 is acting without thinking. So a great way to solve that is, well, it's right there in what it says. Think before you act. So if you're about to do something that you don't think you normally would do, just, do I really need to grab this? No, I do not. Do I really need to do this? No. What am I doing right now? Use your cognition. Think of what you're doing at the moment. Oh, I'm writing down a list. I'm doing homework. Okay, go to that. If it starts getting a little too boring, take a break. Go eat a snack, play with your friends, go fishing, work on a person, whatever you want to do. After your break, come back, start going again, and again, and again, and again. Before you know it, your task will be complete. So that's one way to definitely stay on task and to definitely do some thinking before you act. And last but not least, number 4 solution is interrupting conversations. I know exactly what that's like. I've done it many times. I've gotten that look, though. Solution. When you go into a conversation, you don't just barge in and say, oh yeah, anyway, I went fishing and this and this and this when they're talking about video games per se. What you do is you just kind of walk in there and you let them kind of acknowledge you and you're like, okay. You walk in, you wait for your turn. It's like a natural turn-based taking of like conversation. One person will talk about this, one will talk about that, and then if you get an opportunity, they'll look to you, and if you got something to say to definitely build on that, you can be like, oh, hey, Call of Duty, I really like zombies, and blah, 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 and then You take your turn. You stop, take a breath, and then the others keep talking, and then you just fish for subjects. Stay on the subject matter of the conversation. Before you know it, they'll be like, all right, this guy's pretty cool, instead of walk away. So that's another thing. I just call it fishing in the conversation. So you go into the conversation and you make sure that you stick to the conversation, because if you talk something extraneous or out of the subject line, more than likely you're going to get the negative reactions and/or mixed reactions like, what? So yes, definitely do your best to listen and figure out what's going on in the conversation. So there you go, folks. There are 4 different ways that having ADHD in and out of the fandom in your regular life, and 4 great ways to combat it. As well as, I'm going to put it like this. Those are things that work for me. It might work for you, it might not work for you. Definitely talk to friends, family, and even if anything, see a therapist, see a psychologist. There are all sorts of strategies out there to help combat ADHD. And you guys do have hope. There is an ability to stay on task. There's an ability to keep your, think before you act. There's a way to make a lot of friends and move into a conversation appropriately. It takes time, and I know it's a tough one. It takes patience. I still make mistakes. I'm not perfect, but the best thing is you learn and you grow. Thank you guys so much, and hopefully this helps you guys as furries with ADHD and/or even a little bit of HFA. Might come in very handy. So I'm here. My name is Splits. I'm a Dutch Angel Dragon. I am also a therapist, and I love to help others out with ADHD, amongst other things. Take care.